In this video, we're going to talk about how to optimize a LinkedIn profile for greater visibility. So with your LinkedIn profile, you want to avoid one of these costly mistakes. A lot of people set up their LinkedIn profile as a version of their CV. If you're looking to use LinkedIn to get more customers, there could be nothing more boring than using your resume on your LinkedIn profile to communicate what you do to customers. If you're using LinkedIn to get more clients, you want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is customer centric and focused on delivering value to the customer, explaining what you do. And I'm going to go through some of the steps within your LinkedIn profile that you want to focus on in order to do that. First things first, the most important part of your LinkedIn profile is actually your photograph. So if you have not got a professional photograph on your LinkedIn profile, that's where you want to start. You want it to be shoulders and head so people can easily make eye contact. It's been proven that since very early on in life, we humans connect with the eyes. So you want people to be able to see your eyes, and having a high definition professional photograph will help with that. That's the most important part of the profile, because people will see the photograph first in the search results. The other thing they will see is your headline. So your headline is one of the most important areas to put in keywords if you want to be optimized for search engine visibility. So people will be searching for key phrases on LinkedIn as well as Google, and having those keywords in your headline will make a big difference. So you'll notice that on my profile it says growing businesses with LinkedIn, best use of LinkedIn 2019 to 2020, LinkedIn training and lead generation. So the main keywords in there obviously is a LinkedIn training and lead generation. And then I've got the best use of LinkedIn award in there, 2019 and 2020, to build credibility and social proof, which is something I'm going to come back to shortly when it comes to your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so those are two things people will see in the search results. When you click through to their profile, the first thing you'll notice is a big background image behind the portrait photo that you have, and that's what they call a cover photo or a background photo. This is a great way for you to stand out from the competition. A lot of people don't bother to do anything with this space. You can use it in a couple of different ways. A great way to use it is for social proof. So you'll notice that on my profile, I've got a picture of one of my events with my audience, and I've also got a couple of awards showing up on my cover photograph as well. So you can think of something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be an event. Could be your office space, could be the team, could be you speaking, could be a media appearance or something like that. If you are in a specific location, let's say you're based in Sydney and most of your clients are based in Sydney, you could do a nice aerial shot of the Sydney skyline. That'll build familiarity with the target prospects, given that they're all in Sydney. So that's a very simple way that you can use it to make the profile look a lot aesthetically better. Next thing you want to decide is whether or not you want to make your profile a LinkedIn creator profile. So by updating your profile to a creator profile, it gives you some options to tell LinkedIn a bit more about what sort of content you're posting. So you help your content get discovered by people that are interested in those topics. It'll give you the opportunity to showcase content on your profile, and you also get access to some creator tools as well. And you'll notice that when you update to the LinkedIn creator profile, you can see on the profile here it says talks about hashtag sales, hashtag LinkedIn, hashtag marketing, hashtag social media, hashtag entrepreneurship. So what I've done there is I'm telling LinkedIn what topics I talk about in my content, and then when I post content I generally use one or two of these hashtags, so it gives even LinkedIn more information about what the content's about, so it can portray that content, display that content to people that might be interested in that specific piece of content. The other thing you'll notice is you can add a link on your profile. So I've got book a free 15-minute call here, could be a link to your website. You can customize the text in the link, and then if I click on it, it opens a new tab, goes straight to my Calendly where people can book in a time to talk with me. So you might want to think about doing something like that, or you might want to get people directly to your website. Yes, the website can be visible on your profile in other areas, but what we know through conversion design, like on websites, like if you want a website that has a high conversion rate or a high click-through rate, you want to make that link as prominent as possible. So by having it at the top of your profile like this means more people, out of all the people that view your profile, more people are actually going to convert and click on that link. So it makes a big difference. When you look at people's profile, they'll also have either a connect with or a follow button. That's something that you can customize. If you create a profile, you can customize it so people follow you. And the reason you would do that is if you had quite a big audience, because you can only have 30,000 connections on LinkedIn. So something to think about if you're reaching that number. If you're still starting out, then it's probably better to connect with people, because that means that not only will they be able to see your stuff, but you'll actually be able to engage with their stuff as well, there's a lot of value in doing that. So that's something to definitely think about. Next thing I would think about doing is customizing my privacy settings, right? So you don't want necessarily, well, you may or may not, but most people don't want everyone being able to see all of their connections. So what that means is if I click on somebody's profile, I can view everyone they're connected with. So in some highly competitive industries, this might be an issue because people might start contacting all of your contacts, for example. So what you want to do is just have a think about what you want to do with your privacy settings. So you go into settings and privacy here. And this is where you can customize a lot of your account preferences, sign-in and security, visibility, communications, data privacy, and advertising data. So some of the things that I generally look at are making sure your profile's visible to all LinkedIn members. People also viewed is a section you might want to think about. So when someone comes to your profile, do you want that banner down the side which has people also viewed and then other people's profiles? The reason that you may want to turn that off is just in case, like let's say for example, your competition is showing up in there. If you offer those links, people are likely to leave your profile and go to view their profile. So you might want to turn it off, which I've done here. Then you go into sign-in security. You've got visibility here. So profile viewing options, this is one you want to check. Select what others see when you viewed their profile. I tend to show people. The only reason you wouldn't is if you were doing some incognito work where you didn't want people to know that you viewed their profile. Maybe you were looking at competition or something like that. I'm not sure why. I always make it visible. So connections is what I was referring to earlier. So you click on connections, allow your connections to see your connection list. Now you can see I've customized this to off. So yeah, those are the main ones that I want to look at. If you want to turn communications off so you get a load of emails, this is where you can do that as well. So make sure you just take some time to do that. Now going back to visibility, click on edit your public profile here. You want to make sure that your profile is visible to search engines. So go down here, make sure it's public, make sure all these tabs are to the right and green. That means that Google can read your profile. So you are likely to show up in the search results on Google. If those aren't up to the right and green, make sure you customize them. The next thing you want to do is have a look at your LinkedIn profile URL. So your LinkedIn profile URL is the web address that people use when they view your profile. So if you haven't customized this yet, what you might see is linkedin.com /in/ and then you might see your name followed by a bunch of numbers and letters that don't really mean anything. What you want to do is customize this. So what I've done is I've made it LinkedIn /in/ Nathaniel Bibby, which tells Google, like if someone has searched Nathaniel Bibby, they're going to be looking in things like the URL to see whether or not there's a relevant piece of content. So that will help your LinkedIn profile rank to the top when someone's searching for your name. Quite important when somebody's searching your name that you control the search results. If I didn't do this, it might be that my Facebook or my Instagram or something else comes up, which isn't necessarily business related. I'd much rather than be looking at my LinkedIn profile. So that helps out a lot. If your name's already taken, you can either add a number on the end, or you could add the city you're in, or even company name. Just try not to make it too long, and then make sure that once you've updated your URL, that wherever that URL is, whether it's in your email signature, it's on your website, that you update it to the new URL so people can always find your LinkedIn profile. Okay. All right, now going back to the LinkedIn profile, we've talked about the custom URL. You want to make sure you go into the About sections, make sure all of your details are filled out, give LinkedIn all of the information that it's asking for. So you want to make sure your address is in there, your postal code, location. You can even add your name pronunciation, which is a good idea. So you can make an audio recording of your names. That's handy so people can click on it and hear it. You can also create a profile video now. If you want to create a short video, people will be able to click on your profile pic and see the video. So worthwhile doing these things help you stand out from the crowd. So something to think about. Now, as you go down, you'll notice this featured section, which is part of the creator tools that are available on LinkedIn. Here's where you can feature posts that you've done or links to other websites or pictures or whatever you want to focus on in your profile that you want to draw attention to when people get to your profiles. It's a great way to build social proof, or if you want to promote a certain post or event coming up, you can pin it to the featured section. So this is a cool tool here. I'm always adding to it because I get a lot of people viewing my profile over and over again, so I want to keep the content fresh on my profile, but you have to look what works for you. We've got your activity feed here, and then you've got to have the about section filled out. The about section is the next part where you explain, a bit more about who it is and what you do. So the way I suggest focusing is making sure, like in the first couple of sentences, people can tell exactly what it is that you do. So I say I help businesses gain a competitive edge through LinkedIn lead generation and content marketing strategies. And then I go into credibility. My agency has generated over 500 million in sales for our clients. Clients include Apple, Westpac, Channel 7, HubSpot, Capital Group, Linktree, Western Union. And then I go in and list services in bullet points, so it's very easy to scan and read on a mobile device. And then I've got some of my awards there. At the end, you want to have a call to action. Whatever you want people to do next, whether you want people to get in touch with you, connect with you, visit your website, call you. In my instance, I've got linked to my other social channels and my podcast. Next part you'll see is your experience section. This is where you have more information about your company. So if you're creating your profile for customers, write a bit of blurb in here about your company. Again, with the title, the using experience section, same as with the headline, you want to use keywords in there, so you're going to be showing up in search results. If you put in the keywords in your headline and the title of your experience and use them a little bit throughout your profile, you will rank invariably well in the search results on LinkedIn for those keywords. Jazz it up by adding links to media, YouTube, whatever you can think of to make it stand out from the crowd here. But put some information about the company. If your logo isn't showing up here, you want to make sure that it's linked to the company page set up. If you haven't got a company page set up yet, then you'll need to do that. Encourage watching one of my other videos about how to set up a company page if you haven't done that yet. But we'll stick on the personal profile for this video. Previous experience, a lot of people ask how much previous experience do you want to put in. Whatever's relevant, you want to show relevant previous experience. Also another place you can put in keywords, even though it's previous experience, not what you're doing currently, it's a great way to put in more keywords. Make sure you fill in their education section. This is one of the criteria LinkedIn look at to make sure that your profile is an all-star profile. You want to make sure that you fill in details there. Add licenses and certifications. Any awards that you've won or the company that you work for have won. Any certifications you may have, include them here. That'll help build social proof. If you haven't got any, that's okay, but you just want to add whatever you can in here to just fill it out. Volunteering is a great way as well. I've got to do CEO sleep out, so I put that in there. Approved for Anthony Robbins. I've been a corporate partner for Big Brother, Big Sister Australia. So a few things there that I put in there as a volunteer section. And then as you keep scrolling down, you'll notice the skills section next, where you put in relevant skills. This is important, particularly like recruiters will use this to find talent. So if they're looking for certain people with certain skills, this is where LinkedIn will be crawling to see if they have those certain skills when they're looking for individuals' profiles. So you want to make sure they're relevant and up to date. So I've got social media marketing, online marketing, and then people have endorsed me for those skills. You want to make sure you order them in order of priority, so you can reorder them here. You can have, I've got 49 skills here. I think you can have up to 50. The top 3 are obviously going to be most likely to get the most endorsements on, so you want to make sure the most relevant ones are at the top there. Next section is a section that a lot of people ignore, which is recommendations. This is where you put testimonials. Go through to someone's profile and ask to be recommended. Say, hey, I'd love a recommendation from you if you don't mind just dropping a few words on my profile about your experience working with me. It can be from previous customers, they're the best. Could be with partners and could be with colleagues, but using it to get customers, really want to get some customer testimonials on there. So keep them short and succinct. People aren't going to read a long testimonial necessarily. Try and think about what testimonial is going to be likely to be similar to the prospects that you're going to be talking to. Other things you add, publications, courses that you've completed. This is a very easy one to fill out. You can use the project section creatively. I've used this in the past to list events which I've done with other speakers, which means that then this event will then show up on their profile as well. So it's a very creative way to get more visibility across other people's profiles. Honours and awards, again, self-explanatory. Think about the honours and awards that you can put in there. Languages, put all that information in there. organizations you're a part of. You can see there's lots of areas here that you can be thinking about, what causes you support, and then down the bottom here, what companies you follow, what groups you're a member of. Groups is a great way to find people that have similar interests. So have a think about joining some groups as well. It'll give you access to potentially millions of members on LinkedIn by joining those groups. You can then engage with each other, post in the groups, and so on and so forth. So once you've filled out your profile and it's looking spick and span, then you want to start growing your network on LinkedIn, which I'll be posting about in the next video on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching.